And I would really like to see them challenge tradition with this game.
Which I think creates a huge skill gap, because people who are really bad will just run around, press one button, and you're dead.
Well, from what I've played, I think it's going to change the game a lot.
So here's the problem with this next game. Not a problem.
Did you say problem?
We don't talk about that.
Hey, I like it.
Yeah,
I've never seen you play it.
What is up, everybody? Welcome, everyone, to the SquadRoom GameTalk edition. We have some amazing things lined up to talk about today. If you don't know what in the world it is that we're doing right now, basically, in GameTalk, we just come with a bunch of games to talk about, and we talk about the games, and we tell each other that we're wrong, because we disagree sometimes. I always love it when Fife is here. I'm sad he's not here, because he just, shreds everybody's opinions. But anyway, guys, we're gonna kick it off with actually not a game, believe it or not. We're actually gonna start this game talk off talking about who I believe is called the face of Twitch. Correct, Susie? Could you tell us a little bit more about that?
The face of Twitch, ladies and gentlemen, the two-time, the back-to-back gaming community. You guys have never heard of that. He is, in my opinion, probably the best broadcaster on Twitch. I've been around Twitch for a long time. Been a broadcast for 3 years now, 2 of those years being full-time. I have spent maybe close to 1,000 hours of just learning about what it takes to Twitch, what it takes to stream. I didn't know Twitch was a verb, I just made it one. What it takes to broadcast. And everything that I've learned, this guy takes it to another level. I mean, his energy, his knowledge of, I don't know if you guys know, but he actually does all of his own graphics, all of his own videos. He might not anymore, but he did. But honestly, the quality of his graphics, even though he probably at this point pays someone else, they haven't gotten any better. He just doesn't do them anymore, I'm assuming. But when he first created them, I mean, this guy sets new standards for Twitch. The whole transition of scenes. I don't think there's one in this video.
There will be coming up. Yep.
He started that. Nobody else on Twitch had ever done this. I mean, he does so many things that's never been done before, right? His scene transitions, the fact that he wrecks people in the face while wearing black sunglasses. I can't even kill most people without sunglasses on. Okay, and I mean, he sets a new standard, and he's an incredible broadcaster. And I've been around Twitch for a long time, and I've really honestly never seen someone like the Doc really climb that high. I've never seen anyone like the Doc achieve the quick amount of success that he has. And there's obviously, I mean, it's no secret, it was all over the internet. There's obviously, a little bit of discussion about, his return to Twitch. Some of you guys don't know, he took a break from Twitch because, we'll just say, some family issues. And there was some serious questions about wondering if the Doc's ever going to come back. And one, I'm really excited that not only he came back, but more importantly, that him and his family were able to patch things together. Our community was praying for him, really trying to do our best to just promote encouragement towards him in the situation. The reality is everybody makes mistakes. And I know that sometimes when you see famous people, it's so easy for you to cast judgment upon their mistakes. Well, I mean, in this position, you can't make that kind of decision. And obviously, although that's true, is the only difference between famous people and non-famous people is we all make mistakes, except those of us who aren't famous, not everybody gets to know about it. And so I can't imagine the stress of their family trying to go through that situation, but then trying to go through that situation while knowing the whole world knows about it. And so I'm really glad that they pulled through. I'm really glad to see the Doc 2.0 bringing back the Champions Club, the back-to-back champion of the online gaming community. And I'm pretty pumped. I honestly don't really get the chance to watch the Doc too much because oftentimes we're streaming at the same time. But I mean, even look what he's doing right now with that robot.
It's crazy.
I can pretty safely say that there's very few things in OBS that I don't know how to do. I have no idea how he does that. I still have not. I've thought, I'm like, bro, I could get a penguin and we could make it robotic, and I don't know how he does it. It moves to his mouth.
It's got to be face rig. but who he got,
Another level.
the only question I have is who he got to custom model him a robot version of himself.
Bro, when you got 40,000 subs, you can do a lot. You know what I'm
I
saying?
guess. I guess.
You can do a lot, but Pablo, I don't know if you've had a chance to watch much of the doc, but he's just incredible. The thing about his stream, I know we were talking about this a little before the camera went live, but he doesn't just broadcast. He's literally putting on a show.
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna say something that might sound crazy. I wouldn't be surprised to one day see the doc like on TV. Like
I wouldn't be surprised.
That'd
there
be
have
crazy.
been in the recent past few years, they've taken YouTubers more so on the Disney Channel. I think the world is still in the mindset that video games are for kids, but there's been some YouTubers that have literally had their own Disney Channel shows.
Right.
I don't know if you guys have known this, and it's literally like a YouTube video, them playing a game with them in the corner, playing
Right.
the game, like their camera. And I'm like, bro, if anyone's gonna do this for adults, it's gonna be the doc. It's gonna be the doc. And the energy, he has a slogan and a title for everything. Everything. I mean, he names his mustache, names his glasses.
He fires random people.
He does. He's got production managers, right? Anything that can be done on Twitch, this guy does, and he does it on another level. And I'm really glad to see him back. He literally broke Twitch for his return. I think he almost broke the world record for
There's actually some debate about that. Different sources say that the first guy, I think Tyler or something, League of Legends streamer, some sources say that he peaked at like 380,000
Really?
something. Some sources say he peaked at over 400,000. So nobody really knows. I think people are giving Doc the credit for it just because he's new and everybody loves
the Doc.
him.
He's the new guy of this generation.
People are like, oh, whatever. The Doc is the best.
The Doc.
He's the doc, dude.
It was insane to see as soon as he got on, like 200,000 following instantly.
Yeah.
It was like, what? Oh my gosh! And then you just saw the numbers climb.
Like,
when he came on, I was streaming. I was actually debating on canceling my stream that day just because I wanted to be there, not for entertainment.
your numbers were
purposes,
good that day.
but obviously as a pastor, I wanna be aware of what's going on in the community that I've given my life to reach. So I was like, the doc coming back is a big deal, and I feel like I should kind of be there to.
It's like all of Twitch is here. You have to be there.
Yeah, and I wanted to honestly see, because I was honestly afraid for him that people were gonna have a negative response to his comeback. Luckily, I didn't really see much of that in chat. But when I was streaming, he came on. And literally, like, the website broke. People were even in my chat, do not refresh the window, otherwise you won't be able to get back in. Because, like, the website just broke. It was insane.
It's interesting for me because I never really watched him all that much. I'll be honest. But I watched his first game back that you're looking at on the screen right now. The first game that he came back with when he restarted his streams. And the game itself was just incredible. He won his first game back, which is just scripted. Hello. Anyway,
it's like right up there with the Shaun White snowboard gold medal, Doctor Strange first game back win.
But like for me personally, I don't really dig the whole personality thing. Like it's just doesn't do it for me. But I will say that he is very good at what he does.
He is. The last thing I'd probably say about the Ducks comeback is I thought that I don't know if many of you got a chance to see it. Maybe Sarah, if you could get a link for it in the chat while I'm explaining this. His comeback video, like his announcement that I'm coming back. There was a lot of discussion of people wondering, is he going to come back? And I thought that his video was so well done because we won't go into detail publicly about what he did. It's on the internet. You guys can go research it if you'd really like to know. But there was definitely some family issues and some large mistakes that were made, sometimes that we all do. And his video, I thought, was so methodic and so strategic because he addressed everything that I thought needed to be addressed. Because the doc could not return and not mention anything.
Right.
You can't just come back from that and not bring it up and you made it public. Everyone's got to know. Everyone's wondering what happened.
I believe that is the video.
He covered everything in the video. He started off, guys, we messed up big time. Right, apologizing again. Didn't know if I was gonna make it out alive. Obviously, doing his whole doc.
Do want to say we just need to try to wrap up this topic here in a second? So.
I got you. And then in the video, he talks about how we're coming back, but he didn't just make a video saying he's coming back. even though it was humorous, it was lighthearted, make lighthearted of a big situation. His wife being on his shoulders signified, I'm not just coming back, but we made it out of here alive.
Right.
Like we worked through this thing without even having to say it. We're okay.
Yeah.
And that was my biggest concern. I mean, if the Dodgers come
awesome.
back, that's a bummer. But more viewers for me, right? No, I'm kidding. But the biggest concern was, is their family going to make it? And I thought that video was incredible because I thought it strategically, in a lighthearted way, hit all the points. Doc, well done, my friend.
Right.
But so that's it for Dr. Disrespect. He is back, and he is certainly better than ever. But moving right along, Monster Hunter World just came out not too long ago. And Pablo, I know you've been playing the heck out of this game. I was watching you the other night. Why don't you tell us a little about your experience with Monster Hunter World and how is it different from previous entry?
Sure. Monster Hunter. Well, first off, it's an amazing game. Seraph was joining me with my stream last Thursday, and he was like, dude, I was going to get off when you were going to get off. 45 minutes later, I'm still awake. Oh my gosh, my life.
Yep.
So it's a super interesting, fun game. There's so much action in it. And the thing that I believe makes this game awesome is it takes what games such as Destiny and other games that have a kind of loot system try to do, and it's almost mastered it. It's almost perfected it, like polished it to the point where it's amazing. Games like Destiny and stuff like that, when you're doing a mission and stuff like that, you're looking for certain items and stuff like that you have to farm certain missions to get, and there's no 100% chance that you're going to get it. There's not, like, it's almost like random that you're going to get what you're actually looking for, the gear that you're actually looking for. And what Monster Hunter does is, Monster Hunter is a game where you have to hunt these big monsters and so forth. That you start out pretty simple with, you get some simple equipment, and you have to hunt monsters. And the way you get better equipment is you hunt more and more of the monsters. You farm them a little bit to get, things such as material from them, like scales, bones, teeth, fangs, horns, anything that they have on their body, wings, webbings, all that. And you use those material to make their armor, their weapons. Every monster has armor and weapons, and so on and so forth. And so obviously the harder the monster, the better the weapons and the armor. And here's why it almost perfects the loot system, which is a reason why I believe a lot of gamers love this video game, is because if I need to get, like, for instance, if I'm fighting a Rathalos, so Rathalos is a giant fire wyvern that he's called the King of the Skies. And if I'm fighting a Rathalos and I say, you know what, I need a wing for this piece of armor, the way you get the wing is you keep attacking his wing until it says monster part broken. Once it says monster part broken, you'll see that his wings develop holes in it and stuff like that, and you know that it's damaged, and you're like, all right, I've damaged his wing, and now at the end of the mission, I know that I have a higher chance, like a way higher chance of getting a couple of monster wings than I did if I didn't break his wing. If I need to get a Rathalos tail, I could literally attack his tail until the point in the middle of the match where his tail literally falls off. So you're almost, if you need a specific monster part from the monster, you're in control of the percentage that you can get it. The hardest thing, for instance, if you're fighting a monster with a horn, you're going to need to attack it right in the face. And so you need to keep attacking until you see monster part broken. Once you see monster part broken, then hey, I think I just succeeded at my mission of getting this part, the loot system of this game. The only one that is never 100% guaranteed, which is the rarest part you could ever get from a monster, is called a monster gem, in which you would probably need to break multiple parts of a monster's body, but it's easy to do, and so it looks like a hack and slash game at first, but you need to be strategic as to where you're attacking the monster. You need to know monsters' hard points and their weak points and what you need to do to get the parts that you need. And there's even a monster log that will tell you their weaknesses, their weak spots, the spots that you can't attack, all these things. And it'll also tell you the percentage of the items that you want to drop based on the parts that you actually break on each monster. Wow. And so it's like almost a perfected looted system where you're completely in control of it. It's what you do based on the fight. And it's not like, you can just go in there, 7 minutes and fight a monster and kill it. Once you hit a certain point in the game, fights, as Seraph saw, can be so aggravating because you could be fighting a monster legit real time for 35 minutes. And if you faint 3 times, that's the equivalent to dying, your health bar getting completely dropped out. That's you get carted. You basically 2 cats pick you up on a cart and drop you back off at the camp.
Oh,
you
man.
have 3 chances. You have 3 chances to kill this monster. If you faint on the 3rd time, it doesn't matter if you were fighting this thing for 40 minutes. You have a 50-minute total limit. You have to restart the mission.
All right, I hate to cut you off, but we do need to keep moving along. Real quick, let's just get...
It's just rough,
yeah.
but it's a fantastic game, guys.
Real quick, Susie, have you ever played a Monster Hunter game?
I have never played one, and everyone keeps telling me to play one with my community, but I don't even know how, like, is it a multiplayer game you can invite people to play?
It
with
is,
you?
yeah. So I've never played one either. I've always thought they looked really cool. This one is actually going to come out on PC later in the year. Yeah.
Oh, bro.
So I'm thinking of picking it up then, because I've always kind of wanted to get into the series. So
You won't regret it.
yeah.
But then there's going to be more. Every DLC is free, by the way, for everyone ever since they first came out. There's not even a season pass. They've already announced they will be free, so there's new monsters going to be continuously added.
Alrighty, well, we need to keep moving along. So, next up, we have got, of course, Sea of Thieves. Arg, matey, are you ready to be a pirate? I gotta mute that video, sorry about that. But, Susie, you're just all over this game.
I'm all over it.
Lay it out. What's up?
I'll be honest. If you guys watch my stream, you probably notice a little bit about me. I'm pretty picky when it comes to games. I'm not the guy that grew up like playing 100,000 games. I'm the guy that grew up like obsessing over 2 games and got really good at those 2 games. So I didn't really play like 100 million games, and big reason that is I'm just kind of picky with the games I play. If I play a game for more than 5 minutes and I'm not absolutely in love with it, I'm probably not gonna keep on playing it. Which is why in the past I've started games and then not finished them. Sea of Thieves, from the moment I even saw a YouTube video, I was googly-eyed. I mean, even just look at the sea they're swimming in. The graphics are gorgeous. The scenery, you literally feel like you are in an immersive adventure. And the greatest part is that you're not on this adventure alone. I mean, so many things to talk about this game. One, it's cross-platform. So not only can you play with friends that are on the console. I'm mainly a PC player myself. I did grow up on the Xbox. But the reality is, PCs are expensive. Not everyone can, even Pastor P doesn't have a gaming PC. Well, because they're expensive, right? So he's playing on the console.
Baby too.
Dang, bro. Hey, baby's first, man. And there's nothing wrong with not having a PC, but this bridges the gap between the PC and the console world because they can play together.
It's amazing.
But it's not only they can play together, it's that the account is shared on both. So when I purchased the game, $59.99, same price as really any other game, but you're really getting 2 games because you get it on the console and Xbox and the PC. So if I want to switch over to if I'm streaming to my computer and I'm like, you know what, stream's over, I want to go relax a little bit, but I still want to keep on playing, but maybe I want to get in my PJs, put my feet up, sit on my couch. I can go on my Xbox and I don't lose any of my progress. I just literally just transfer the same character. You're playing with you're playing with your friends, and I think probably my favorite part about it is that you are it's so immersive and so realistic in the sense of how you have to steer the ship. So it's not just turn the wheel.
It's so cool.
You got to put the sails in the right directions. You got to angle them the right way according to where the wind's blowing. You got to put the right length. The length determines your wind. If you crash your boat, you got to go down. Now, obviously, this is a little bit unrealistic. You put 1 plank, and did you ever notice where it's flooded with water, and you get 1 bucket, and all the water
takes half of it out.
But
that's amazing.
It's incredible. It's incredible. But the thing that I love is they're just looking to make the game even bigger and even better. I mean, the graphics are incredible. The adventure, the constant replayability is just out of this world. But I was actually watching videos last night and getting ready for this talk show today. And I saw a video that just came out yesterday, a new exclusive information released from Rare, the creators of the game, and they're looking to make something called it's like a secret pirate island. It's not an instance or a zone that you have to loading screen into. It's this big island that everyone can see, but only the elite players have access to it. You have to become what's called a pirate legend, and essentially that's just reaching a super high level. Then you get the key to go in this super dope secret island. It's kind of ghosty themed. and there's a ship, and there's all this kind of stuff. And then here's the awesome part, that the number one player on the server, who becomes the captain legend of the server, he becomes the owner of this.
Oh my
island,
gosh!
and
What?
he gets to dock his boat inside of that secret island for everybody to see. It's incredible.
Gosh.
And the
That's
number one
amazing.
player on the server always he'll be the captain legend. Everyone will know him. But the really cool part is that about Sea of Thieves is that you can play with your friends no matter what level they are. So I could be super high level and you just start in the game, Pablo. You hop on and I bring you on questing with me, and you're getting experience. I'm getting experience. The cool part about the secret island is that as long as I am a legend, then I can bring my friends around.
I'm sorry, that's just hilarious.
As long as I'm
Hearing
a
you
pirate
say that.
legend,
As long as I'm a legend and you suck.
Right. As long as someone in your party has the key, you can bring your friends to enjoy.
That's
the
amazing.
Once you leave, they have to leave with you.
Right.
But they're just looking to do so much. The Kraken's in the water, the sharks in the water. I mean, you could be on this just amazing adventure, chilling, hang out with your friends, and all of a sudden, sharks coming out of nowhere. The storm comes, strikes your boat with lightning. PvP's happening. I mean, it really, honestly, it's an experience.
Yeah.
It is the game. It's not just the game. It's an experience.
That's super cool too, because it gives you that's like never-ending goals. Like somebody's always gunning for the top dog spot.
Yep.
It reminds me of a little bit of Elder Scrolls Online, where during the PvP happening and stuff like that, whatever faction controls the most outposts by the main city, the top player in the battle gets crowned emperor of the server.
Yeah.
So that's like super like awesome. Like people are still playing Elder Scrolls Online today, and that game came out like 5 years ago.
Oh, dude,
So this is awesome. They're setting themselves up for this.
Yeah, I love.
And I'm salty. I'm salty that it's not on PS4.
I love how much non game progression skill there is for you to gain, and what I mean by that, there's probably a better way to phrase that, but what I mean by that is just like you were saying, Susie, the steering the boat itself is very difficult, and there's a lot that goes into it. So there's lots of really cool things to learn about steering the ship. For instance, if you're going full speed in one direction and you need to turn around, turn the wheel all the way to one side, drop the anchor, and you do just a 180.
Yeah.
U-turn,
And,
yep, big
and
time.
then you pull the anchor back up and you go. It's like, that is so cool, but
That's
it's
so
hard to pull off well.
Oh yeah. You need
So
to
it's basically, I think what you're trying to say is you could have the best gear, but if you don't know what you're doing,
Right.
you could still play like a noob. And I see that as a theme with a lot of games that are coming out lately. Even Monster Hunter, you could have the best gear that you want in either one of these games, but if you don't know what you're doing, you're not going to go anywhere.
exactly.
Yeah. So
But it's also not so skill gapped that a new player
Right.
can pick up the game quick.
Right.
great.
because there's really easy things to do as well that you will always need to do. So for instance, like repairing the ship. That's not exactly hard to do, but it's important.
Very
It's
important. You have to be aware of the battle. Like, if you have a specific cannon assigned to you, you have to make sure you're shooting at the same time, going downstairs, repairing holes, taking it's like, oh my good, there's so many facets to the game, and you could be such a troll in this game. I saw Summit streaming this game, and he literally just snuck onto someone's ship, and while they were sailing away in the middle of a battle, he knew he was never going to get back his ship, but he was taking all their treasure chests and throwing them off into the ocean so that they at least could not get them. I was like, what a troll. That is so awesome.
That's incredible.
Oh man, Ninja for God. Yeah, this will only be on Xbox and PC. So for PC, it's on the Windows 10 store, but it will not be on PlayStation, unfortunately.
Lame.
But when you do buy it, you'll get both copies of the Xbox
Yes.
PC for
Oh, really?
one
Yep.
price. Yep.
That's cool.
It's really awesome. Incredible game. It's probably going to be probably going to be my game of the year.
Yeah, when they first revealed this game a couple years ago, I thought it looked awesome. But then the more and more they showed, I was like, okay, what do you do in this game? Like what is there to do?
Hunt or be hunted, bro.
And
Hunt or
well,
be
I
hunted.
guess. But honestly, until I was watching gameplay of it, the more and more gameplay I watched when people started streaming it, like it looked really fun. And then I played it, and it's really fun.
Yeah. It looks. I love the aspect of when you die, you kind of go to.
Yeah.
You go to. What's that? Davy Jones ship. I forget what it's
Oh,
called.
that's what it is.
The Dutchman. The Dutchman or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
And what's it called? You have a chance to respawn and enter the battle again, so long as your ship is still standing. It's still sailing the seas. The moment it's gone, it's like, dang it, we lost everything.
Yep. So that's
March
Sea of
20th can't come
Thieves.
fast enough.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be pretty cool. But we do need to keep moving along. So let me make sure I'm good here for this transition. I need to do these things right here. This is hard, guys. This is a lot of work. But anyway, next game we're going to talk about Shadow of the Colossus.
Remake.
This game. I'm like,
I saw your tweet there. If I'm interested,
I will address that tweet. I will address that tweet. But for those of you that are unaware, Shadow of the Colossus was originally on the PlayStation 2. And that in and of itself is just a testament to how good this game has to be for it to be on the PlayStation 2 and then for them to finally remaster it later. True. The remaster is absolutely beautiful. It's like, I love PC gaming, I love the graphics, but this on the PS4 is one of the most gorgeous games I've ever seen. It's absolutely beautiful.
It does look good,
if you aren't familiar with the game, it's basically all boss fights. There's no there's not even one little minion enemy that you fight. It is all boss fights, fighting these giant colossi. You have to figure out how to get onto them, find their weak point, and take them down. And the whole game just has this excellent presentation of scale and atmosphere. It's a classic. It is undoubtedly a classic. Pablo, have you played it?
So I actually was never introduced into to the original until college. When I went into the atrium of my college, and there were some people just grinding through this game in one weekend, and I was like, "What in the world is this game?" So I sat down. Lo and behold, a couple hours go by as I'm just watching these guys play this game, and it's amazing. And it's just if you have a heart to explore, that's what this game is for you. If you have a heart to explore and find some epic things, that's literally what this game is. And I was thoroughly impressed with it, and especially with the graphics and the lighting effects, and like you said, the atmospheric effects in this remake and the remaster. It looks phenomenal.
Yeah. But to address my tweet, Susie, since you did mention that,
I'm waiting for it.
So for those of you that are unfamiliar, I tweeted the day after I finished playing through the remake. Let me just go pull it up real quick because I don't remember exactly how I phrased it. But
oh gosh,
basically the last day of me playing this game, I was getting a little frustrated. I'll be honest. So I tweeted the next day. I was like, after having played through Shadow of the Colossus again, I find myself walking away with mixed feelings about it. Presentation and atmosphere cements it as a classic, but the gameplay really could be more refined. Feels unnaturally clunky and unnecessarily frustrating at times. And that really is how I feel, honestly, about it. And some of that might just come down to it originally being a PlayStation 2 game and games just being a little janky back then. But they wanted to preserve what this game was. So I understand that they didn't really change the gameplay much at all. They changed up the controls a little because apparently the controls in the original weren't great. So they did change up the controls, but as far as the way the game plays, it plays pretty much exactly the same. And I understand the decision to preserve that with the remake. But I think the age in its gameplay, just the little things. Jumping is just a little awkward. The character seems to have a lot more weight to him than maybe he should, and it's frustrating to try to handle that when you're jumping around on these colossi doing intricate things. And maybe I was just horrible. I mean, that could be it too. Maybe I was just bad. But that's kind of how I felt walking away. That it just didn't quite meet the bar as far as the gameplay goes. However, I do think that the other parts of the game, the presentation and the story and just what makes it great, make up for the fact that the gameplay isn't quite there.
Now, I was curious. I wanted to ask because I wasn't exposed to Shadow Colossus, honestly, until Games Done Quick this last time around when they did a playthrough of it. I'd never heard of it, never seen it. Then I heard people were excited for the remake. Started watching a little bit on Twitch, started to watch you a little bit about it. But I wanted to ask about maybe the feel of its repetitiveness. Because from what I saw, from an outside perspective, it kind of just looked like player climbs boss, stabs white symbol, repeat, repeat, repeat. What did you feel that there was in terms of its variety of its boss fights for the game?
So, when you boil it down, it does look a little repetitive. But most of the bosses, some of them feel pretty similar, but most of the bosses do have pretty unique ways in which you do have to get onto them, or just to hit their weak point. So, for instance, there's this one boss you fight in like this hole, and it climbs onto the walls of the hole. And what you have to do is you have to like lure it up onto the wall, and then you're inside in hallways, and you have to shoot it to get it to fall down. You don't do that for any other boss. That's completely unique to that boss. And then there's other smaller colossi. There's 2 of them, and the way you fight both of those is completely different, mainly based off the environment that you fight them in. There's completely different ways that you have to expose their weak point. But even a lot of the bigger ones, for instance, there's a flying one out in the desert. You see it right there on screen. That one's really cool because it's one of the few that like you have a very limited time to get on it, and if you don't get on it, then you gotta shoot it down and get it to be lower again. But they do find creative ways to expand on the jump on colossi, stab it formula. When you boil it down, really, yes, that is all of them.
Right.
But I think that the presentation and the atmosphere go a long way to make it not feel old, because you just feel awesome taking down these bosses.
The biggest complaint that I've heard from the gaming community about this game in particular is the replayability. Like, after you beat it, you're just done. That's it.
There is a lot of collectibles to find, from what I've heard. There's quite a few collectibles to find in an otherwise pretty empty world. But
it's cute, but it's like the equivalent of me playing Assassin's Creed 2 and trying to find every feather in the game.
Yep.
I'm not going to do it.
But we do need to keep moving along once again. So next up, guys,
This is the good one.
we have none other than Kingdom Hearts 3.
Let's go.
I'm not a Kingdom Hearts fan. I'm not.
Oh,
I'll
my
admit,
soul is broken.
I'm not.
Pray for Ferris right
like,
now.
okay, here's my deal. Like, I always knew it existed growing up. I never had a PlayStation, because I think that's what most of them were on. But honestly, the idea of like this really serious story with like real characters mixed in with Disney characters.
Yeah, it can be a little bizarre, yeah.
What? Like,
It's a bizarre idea, but bro, it works. Like,
It's
you will get
incredible.
emotional playing this game.
all that being said, this trailer's awesome.
Bro. It's so good. It's so good. It just grabs you, dude.
So, in order for you to be able to understand the depth of Kingdom Hearts, you really have to play every game and or watch a video on YouTube of there's many of them, of somebody who will greatly link everything for you leading up to Kingdom Hearts 3 that we've been waiting like a decade and a half for. There's one video that I've seen. I've honestly, it's the same video, and I've probably watched it 5 times just because of how good of how great this guy links he tells it in story form, and it's just he captures your attention. It's just literally it's your childhood dream. You get to go to the worlds, the Disney worlds of Disney movies that you've grown up to love, like Lion King, my favorite Disney movie of all time. You got to go to the Lion King world. You get to go to you got to go to the Aladdin world. You got to go to the Nightmare Before Christmas world. Like, so many different weird worlds. It's amazing, and it's so cool because when your character goes to each world, your character's appearance changes to fit that world, and so do Donald and Goofy. It's amazing, and the story is by far one of the most frustratingly best stories I've ever played in a video game.
Frustratingly best.
It's frustrating because I've been waiting for Kingdom Hearts 3 since before I hit puberty.
Bro, for real.
Like, it's not even funny. I'm 25 years old right now, and I've been waiting for this game for a decade and a half.
Master Blitz wants to know, is there a Moana world?
No,
unconfirmed.
Well, I'm unconfirmed. But all right, now that that's being brought up, I need to mention this because I'm so excited about it. We talked about this a little bit before we went live, but I'm so glad that they kept, I guess, the same feel is the best way that I can really describe it. Because Pablo, you just mentioned that like you've been waiting for this game like since before you hit puberty, right before you grew that armpit here. And I'm so excited because when the game was first released, Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2, it was back in the early 2000s.
Yeah.
When like Toy Story and Lion King and all those movies you mentioned were like our childhood movies, like our generation, right? 20s, 30s, like our childhood movies. And then comes the new Kingdom Hearts 3, like 10 to 15 years later. I don't know how long the gap's been. It's 2018, when now there are so many new Disney movies, but as you can see on the screen, they're still keeping it geared towards the same generation and feel, and it really feels like the game's just picking up where it left off. Like if you went from like Lion King and Aladdin all the way to Moana, like there's a generational gap. A huge generational
I say we
gap.
do it.
So the fact that they
Let's
got,
see
like,
how far we'll
Monsters,
go.
Inc. and like Toy Story, I'm so glad they kept that same feel.
Yeah.
Because like I feel like I'm picking up where I left off as a 14
For sure.
teenager.
And like it's not to say that they're not going to add the new worlds. It's just they're also including these. Like I think the only 3 new confirmed worlds are Toy Story, Monsters Inc., and Big Hero 6.
Yeah.
I think that's the only confirmed ones and stuff like that. But it's super exciting. It has the same feel. It's making 25 and 30-year-olds super excited to play video games again. I just looked it up. Kingdom Hearts 2 came out in 2006, so it's been 12 years that we've been waiting.
A decade, dude.
Right, we've been waiting
so
12 years for Kingdom Hearts 3.
I was 14.
Right, so
yeah, dude.
it's exciting. Yeah, I was 13, so it's exciting. Everyone's hyped about it. They've been teasing this game for at least half a decade. Like we've been seeing a little trailer here, and then at the end of it, it always said in development, which was one of the most frustrating things to see at E3.
That's kind of why I'm glad I'm not a Kingdom Hearts fan.
In development, we're like, dude, you're killing. Like we're gonna die, and our kids are gonna be the ones who play this game. Like, what are you doing? But finally, this past E3, I believe, was the first time it said coming 2018. I think I almost cried. I was like, oh my gosh, my wife is gonna kill me because I'm gonna want to buy the Legendary Edition. It's gonna be like $250 to $300, and I know I'm not gonna get it.
You're
I
gonna get like a 6
to.
foot tall Sora. That's good.
You're gonna get a legit Keyblade.
All right. Well, I'm sure we could continue talking about that for quite. Or, well, at least you two could. I'd just kind of be here. But we do have one more topic to get to for today, and this is the big topic of the day. Not really one game in particular, but the genre that is just taking over gaming. We've got the rise of battle royales, and I want to start this off with a poll. With a poll. So I'm going to put this poll in the chat right now. Crap. Twitch, don't you tell me to sign in. Hold on, I'll drop it over here. Don't worry that there's something else on the screen instead of the poll, okay? It's fine.
I'm voting. Man.
But yeah, so vote on this poll, guys. I want to know what you guys think, because battle royales are just, they're all over the place. They're huge. Everybody's playing them. Everybody's watching them on Twitch. I'm going to vote. I think they're all right. I'm gonna be honest. I'm not huge on them. But
Sheriff, that's 2 things that you've said to me tonight. That
I'm
just makes
sorry.
me want to punch you in the face.
I'm sorry, but as these results come in, we can talk about this.
Right now. I'm surprised.
Yeah. So for those of you unfamiliar, if you are unfamiliar, why have you been living under a rock? But so the first game to kind of pioneer this battle royale genre, I believe, was H1Z1. Was the first game that kind of gained traction in this genre. Yeah. It got really popular, and then people kind of moved on to PUBG, and then you had things like Fortnite get on, and PUBG and Fortnite taking very different, yet also both of them being very successful in their approach to battle royale. And now we've got things like Islands of the Nine, and so. Susie, do you think this genre is going to be around for much longer, or are we going to get over it quick? What do you think?
Honestly, I think it's going to ride the wave for quite some time. If we back up even to the very beginning, it really actually all started off with DayZ.
DayZ was the first one, yeah.
DayZ was actually, and it was almost a beautiful mistake.
Yeah.
DayZ in its essence was not a battle royale game. It was, I don't even know what kind of game. I've never played it.
It was basically...
It was a survival game that had a mod for Battle Royale.
Think of it...
Yes.
Yeah. Think of it like a Battle Royale game as we think of it now, except you respawn and there are zombies.
Okay,
Right.
yes, it was like
That's
a zombie game.
So it's like Ark Survival Evolved. Take out the dinosaurs, put in zombies. Go.
And then they just had this one beautiful idea, whoever did it, to create the let's drop in, let's spawn, and then birthed a brand new genre. Which, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong in the chat. I don't know if we've seen a new video game genre, and I don't even know how long. I mean, for so long it's been FPS, right? MOBAs,
yeah,
they're
really.
not new, but they're relatively still kind of new. But I mean, go back to Dota 1, right? That was really I think the first MOBA. You've got RPGs, RTS. All these games have been around for quite a while, and I don't think we've seen a new birth genre in the video game world in quite some time.
Yeah.
Then comes H1Z1, which really was a game created to be a battle royale.
Right.
Incredible. Many things could be said about Daybreak. We won't even go there. But
But at the same
But
time,
they-
though, H1Z1 also had the Just Survive version, which is what
Yes.
DayZ was. It was exactly like
what
DayZ.
was, yep.
So you
it's
see
epic.
you see how they went from that to what we know as Battle Royale now, because the King of the Kill was way more popular than the Just Survive version.
Oh,
Right. For
they
sure.
weren't even a competition. Yeah, they weren't even close. And just this idea of this battle royale genre. One, I do think it's going to last for a while.
Yeah.
For a few reasons. One, it's new, it's exciting. It's the new pretty girl in school. It's right. Everyone wants to know a little bit more about it. It's the new big genre. It's, I think, the first new genre in quite a while. Obviously, the biggest streamers on Twitch are playing it. Its replayability is unmatched.
Right.
And speaking of Dr. Disrespect, I saw an interview by him on H3H3 maybe 6 months ago, and he described it so beautifully because he was asked, why are battle royales such a hit right now? And he said because of the narrative. Every single game that you play tells a different story.
That's so good.
Where are you going to land? When you land, what's the elevation? What are the towns around it? Is this a popular area? So, what's the story? You land right, in Fortnite. If you're going to land in somewhere like, no, not Dusty Depot, it's not too popular. It's escaping me right now. Tilted Towers. Tilted Towers, what's the story going to be? High impact, violent speed momentum, right? It's going to be crazy fast. He's either going to get out of this town with 15 kills or he's going to die in 19 seconds. Right? It's really one of the two, and it's a fast-paced story. You land somewhere like Anarchy Acres. Okay, the story is going to be a little bit more like, one, the scenery is completely different, going from a city to like a farm, where, okay, Susie's probably going to get some good weapons, and we're probably going to make it guaranteed all the way to endgame. And every single game is a new story that you, as the player, get to tell the narrative.
Right.
And I don't think we've seen a game that has this kind of feel in quite some time.
Right.
Jumping off of that idea, I think, or did you have one more thing to say?
No, keep going.
All right, so jumping off of that idea, I think what makes this game resonate with so many people is the fact that even if you're not very good, every single game is an opportunity for you to win. It's that possibility of success every single game, even though you're going to lose most games for most people. I mean, of course, you get people that are really good at it and they can just win like 75% of their games. That's ridiculous. But just this idea of this could be your game. I think that's what people keep coming back to. Is it's almost like gambling, but not like just feeling like you could win something.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's almost like an addictive high that you could get. Like, oh my gosh, this could be. Oh my gosh, I got 5 kills so far, and there's only 15 people left. Let's go! Like, that it's the excitement of the backing of it. And I think one of the most interesting things about this video game genre is how it really was created and cultivated to be where it is today. It was literally a guy by the name of Player Unknown, that's his gamer tag, that
is that what it's called?
He decided it is. He decided to take the mod that was created for DayZ, help out with H1Z1. H1Z1 was a hit to the point where another company came and said, "Hey, we want you to make your own game. We want you to be the face. We want you to head this up," and that's why it's called Player Unknown Battleground. And so it literally, the creation of it started out as a mod, and I love the way Susie, you said it. You called it a beautiful mistake. Like, that's literally what it seems it was, and it's like, boom, it birthed into its own beast that the world is enjoying and probably will be enjoying for a good while. And Fail, my wife is vacuuming.
Well, to talk over the vacuum, I think another thing about it is even forgetting the fact of that every game could be success. Even while you're playing the game, you were kind of talking about the narrative a little, and this plays a part in that. The tension of just being in the game and wondering, are you going to make it for the next 5 seconds, the next 5 minutes? I think that is what that just blood pumping. Where are the people going to be? Am I going to die?
At any moment.
Any moment. And it's that possibility of something, both with are you going to win or what's going to happen next. Could be anything. You could get shot from anywhere. And that suspense, that tension is what keeps people hooked, keeps them playing. And for me at least, like I said, I think they're okay. When I first started playing H1Z1, I had a ton of fun playing it with friends and stuff. H1Z1 specifics aside, I don't think it had anything to do with H1Z1 particularly, but for me, after a while, I just kind of got used to the fact that I was probably gonna die. I mean,
I just embraced it.
So yeah, for real. Like I understood. Like, there's really no point in me getting all tense and like, am I gonna die? Because I'm probably gonna die. And
well, it's one of those games that if you want to improve on, you have to pick a specific area and grind for a couple days on. I'm gonna improve in this one area. After I get better at that, then I need to add this area to it and this area to it, so that you can become a well-balanced player. And so it's really what you put into it, and I think that's why a lot of people really like it, because you could go at your own pace. Yeah, that's the thing about it. Your kill-death ratio is going to be horrible, but you go at your own pace.
For me, when I had finally come to that realization of I'm probably gonna die, like the whole tension aspect of it for me was gone, and so I just stopped enjoying them as much. So I think that definitely plays a huge role, because for me then it was just, yeah, okay, we're gonna play. I'm probably gonna die, and I would die most of the times, and most of the time it'd just be from getting shot from somewhere random, and that just got old for me.
Yeah, it does get frustrating. My favorite Battle Royale moment of all time was one of Susie's moments that literally had me laughing to the point where I was practically crying. Like, literally, him and this one dude landed in a building, and Susie got every gun in the building. This dude is trying to run clear across the field away from Matt while Susie is just chasing him and just talking to him. And so Susie is just saying, hey, bro, I just want to let you know that I love you, that God loves you, and, I'm a streamer, I'm doing all this right now, and, he's just witnessing to this guy essentially saying, hey, you know what's about to happen, you know I'm about to shoot you in the head with this shotgun that I have pointed right at you instead of chasing you through this field, but I want to let you know that God loves you. Now I'm going to kill you. He just shoots him in the... It literally, when I saw that video, I was laughing so hard, and even today when I see that video, it just makes me crack up because of moments like that. Like Dr. Disrespect said, the story that happens, it also continues with your interaction in the chat, in the world chat with people. It's so funny.
So good. And Sarah, to get back to your original question, do I think personally that this is going to, is the wave going to continue to ride, or is Battle Royale, the rise, going to become a decline? And honestly, I really do think we're just in the beginning. In my 3 years of being on Twitch, I've never seen a genre just dominate not only Twitch, but the gaming just community as a whole. Mm-hmm. The reason I think that we're just at the beginning is I think that Battle Royale developers and creators are just beginning to experiment with what really can be done, right? Start off with H1Z1, pretty simple Battle Royale tactics, right? Fall from the sky, get a gun, last man standing wins. Then you got PUBG, start experimenting with some new things. Well, maybe we could put scopes in the game. Maybe we could experiment with attachment. Maybe we could experiment with first person. Then Fortnite, maybe we could experiment with building. And now they're experimenting with so many new aspects that they're adding onto the Battle Royale, which becomes such a game changer.
Keeps it fresh.
It does, but I think that they're just at the beginning of what more they can do. With every shooter on the planet, high ground being always a priority. With Fortnite being able to create your own high ground, it's a game changer.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Fortnite is obviously just dominating the game.
Dominating right now. Especially recently, their updates, they've been having game modes like snipers only, explosive only, like, you know, so many different things that they've been doing that it's like, wow, let me see how good I am with now specific sets. And it was cool with the sniper only match because it was like, even people who weren't good at sniping, this is your shot to get good at it.
Yeah. And I mean, they have so much potential. Another thing is, and I don't think it's going to die anytime soon, is every other game really that comes out in its respective genre. Maybe not MOBAs. MOBAs are normally free. These battle royale games are not releasing at $59.99.
That's a really good point.
You know, so more people are apt to play them because they're cheap, right? H1Z1 was released at PUBG, I think, was $40. Fortnite is free.
Yeah,
absolutely free, which is insane.
These battle royale games they're releasing at a really cheap, free price, which is just going to draw more people.
Do you
Who's
know?
not going to try a free
Do
game?
you know what the model of Islands of the Nine is going to be?
I don't. I'm assuming it's going to be pay to play. I know to get it in the beta, if you just wanted to get the alpha, if you just wanted to get in the alpha alone, I think it was $20. But I think that's going to give you access. Like, I think if you bought that, like, you have the game. Just like PUBG, when you first bought it, it was beta. Is it still in beta? I don't even know.
No, it launched in December.
Okay, so when you bought it, you have it. But they're just scratching the surface. I mean, even Isles in the Nine, which we could talk in detail about in a second, they're experimenting. What if you didn't need to fall with a parachute? Like, what if you just punched the ground, right, and like a boss, and you landed? But that changes things because, right, there's tactics in these battle royale games about how to float faster, how to fall faster, and they're like, okay, well, what if we just took that out? What if we just punch the ground? So I think they're just at the beginning of really experimenting with what they can do, and I think there's so much more to come.
I think that idea.
I don't even know what Islands of the Nine is, so you guys are gonna need to explain that.
Yeah. So Susie streamed it once or twice, right? It's in alpha right now. It's basically like a sci-fi version of the battle royale formula. So it's more fast paced. It's a little sci-fi-ish. You can like throw your knife and then it just like rematerializes in your hand. Yeah. So it looks good, I think.
It's really good. The biggest thing I found with it that I loved, it's buttery smooth, dude. The movement, the aiming, it felt so good. It really did. I mean, there was obviously, you know, aspects of it that I really liked. The fact I really liked the no parachute. I mean, obviously for me, I got to do my pastor punch every time I landed on the ground, which was amazing. but it, you know, it sped up the beginning. Like it really just dived even further.
I think that's the natural progression of the battle royale formula. Because if you think about it, we were talking about how the allure of the game is the moment when you're on the ground and you're wondering what's going to happen next. When you're in the parachute, it's like, okay, everybody's going to land. There isn't much to worry about there unless you're worrying about, like, this dude is landing right next to me. But I think quickening up that part and getting to the part that really draws people in is just kind of the natural progression of the formula.
At Battle Royale, Island of the Nine is doing things that have never been done. One, with the no parachute, it's genius. But two, one thing that's very frustrating about battle royales is there is obviously a big RNG factor into it. A lot of it is luck. You could land at a great spot, but that spot happens to have no luck. I mean, no loot.
No luck.
They're creating something that's never been done by adding. Maybe no one's even thought of this. They're adding a new skill gap level. There's no other battle royale to date where you spawn with a ranged weapon. Fortnite was the first one to spawn with a weapon. You have a pickaxe. But if I'm really good, there's a skill gap because you can find a gun, but I've got a throwing knife. And if I'm good enough, I'll throw that thing right at your face. And I don't even care.
Were you able to do that at all when you were playing?
No, it's really hard. But
It was hypothetical.
Did you ever get killed by it?
No, I didn't. Okay. I think everyone sucked at the game.
All right, yeah.
But it creates an advantage
sleep at night.
to take a little bit of that frustration out. That I spawned, you got a gun, and I didn't. Mm-hmm. Even though I don't have a gun, I still have a small skill-based fighting chance to where I can just throw my knife at you, or they stab you with it. I mean, I'm assuming that the knife probably does similar damage to the pickaxe in Fortnite, so it's not really gonna be. It's not against a gun, it's not gonna do much. Don't bring a knife to a gunfight. But I'll bring a throwing knife to a gunfight. And so
bring a disco ball though.
they're creating. They're experimenting new things that have never been done, and it's fast paced. The graphics are great. Game feels so smooth. I honestly, I really like the first person battle royale. I'm a Halo guy, so first person for me just is natural. But I really love it. Fast paced. It's got a new sci-fi. You just saw a second ago in the video. They're bringing in more like futuristic looking vehicles, which is cool. More like modern,
look like a real sedan.
Yeah, I look like a Toyota. You know what I mean?
There's one outside right now.
You know, H1Z1. I really like the cars. PUBG's cars are like, they're so wonky and slow. They're weird. But you know, having a real modern looking car like that, there's some new things that I'm really excited for. It is only an alpha. Alpha's closed now, but I'm really hopeful for it. But I just really think that Battle Royale is only on the rise. I really do.
So in the last few minutes, since we haven't really touched on it yet, let's go ahead and talk about Battle Royales as an esport. Because that's as well something that's really been taking off. And personally, I don't think it's the greatest esport. I understand the allure. I think it's the same allure of playing it, of just wondering what's going to happen and who's going to take it, because kind of anyone can take it, just because of the little bit of randomness that goes into it. But it's really taking off even as an esport. We saw it with H1Z1. Now it's in PUBG, and I'm sure that's going to keep going because people love it.
Oh yeah.
Next, it's crazy.
I think Pablo, I don't know if you had any 2 cents before I dive in. Do you have anything?
Oh no, I was just gonna say that I think one of the things that again just makes it successful is the fact that again every match is different.
Yeah.
You know the match, you know the zone is gonna shrink to a different spot every time. You know the people who are there obviously are gonna be different every time. The weapons they have, you know, depending on the game. If you're playing Fortnite, you know the structures that they're gonna be building. Like I don't know if you've seen the videos of people who are building massive towers at rapid pace while firing at each other and building and guarding and editing to build doors. And when I saw that thing, I was like, oh my gosh, it was kind of like what Susie said. I'm never going to get to that level, and I'm okay with it. But I thoroughly enjoy watching it, and so just again the stories it tells. I think that's the most interesting. I could literally watch it. I physically watch it while I'm like eating a bowl of cereal or I'm eating a snack or I'm just hanging out. Right. So
I think in terms of an esport, this is because I'm pretty passionate about it because I really love battle royales. And in terms of esports, it really kind of here's my 2 cents. I really believe in it as a spectator esport, but not so much as a player.
That makes sense.
Esport. And here's what I mean by that: is it's going to be incredibly successful to watch. It's honestly one of the most interesting, invigorating experiences to watch in terms of a competitive esport game. But in terms of a player, I can imagine a professional battle royale player being incredibly frustrated that no matter how good I get, I could literally go in an arena with 99 other players, and I could literally be 3 times as good as everyone else. But that still does not guarantee that I'm going to win.
Right.
Because there's RNG involved. There's you know, bad luck involved. There's weapon spawns, you know. There's so much on the line. And really the game that I think might struggle with esports, even though it's vastly successful right now, is honestly Fortnite. Because Fortnite introduced another tier of RNG. So, Sarah, if you and I could be some of the 2 best players in the world in an arena, 100,000 people, and we are, you know, we're down to the final 2. We're positioned well. We've got our forts. We're good. And it's going to come down to another level of RNG of, oh, I've got a scar, but you've got a golden scar, and I have a purple one.
Right.
We both land the exact amount. We both 2 headshots. Who's going to win? You're going to win. Not because you're better. I could be better than you, but you could just land both your shots. But the other added tier of
or
RNG
maybe I won't because Bloom.
Because of Bloom.
Just saying. Bloom triggers me.
And I think Fortnite, in my honest opinion, I think will struggle from the players aspect of the esport. But at the end of the day, really all that matters is the spectator side, because all that matters is the money coming in, and the money doesn't come in from the players.
So counterpoint to you saying that it's a good spectator sport. And I understand. I think your opinions there are good, but counterpoint. For me, from what I've seen with these tournaments for battle royales, it seems like the camera is generally following like 1 or 2 people for most of the time, and so you miss out on a lot of it as well. And for me, like, my favorite esport to watch is Smash Bros.
That's so good too,
because it works perfectly, and I guess the same goes for any other fighting game as well. I just love Smash, so that's what it is for me. But because the way you watch it is the exact same as the way you play it, you see all the same things.
It's true.
You see everything that's happening.
Sure.
And even when I was back into Dota was a lot more enjoyable for me to watch because it's just a top down. You can see almost everything. There's a mini map. You can see everything going on around the map. And so things like Overwatch now, I love playing Overwatch. I love playing competitive Overwatch. I love trying to get better. I don't really care to watch it that much because you miss out a lot. It's a first-person shooter. I think those are hard to follow with an esport. And I think the Battle Royale would probably be the hardest to follow what is going on esport from what I've seen.
Its viewer experience vastly depends on attentiveness and the skill of the commentators.
Right.
But at the end of the day, you're right, because even you could have the best commentator, you know, he's aware of everything. There's gonna be fights you miss. You know what I mean? Like I think back to the last H1Z1, tournament where Soda Poppin killed Dr. Disrespect. Obviously, a moment that goes down in the history of the, and it will never happen again. What an epic moment! But during that fight, there's also other fights going, and it's like, which one do you pick? You know, what if Soda Poppin and Dr. Disrespect are going on it, while Ninja and Grims are going? Who are you going to show?
Right.
You know,
Picture in picture.
Right. So you're right. There is definitely a discrepancy there on the viewer experience, but I still think from the viewer, it's who's going to be the final one. There's that intensity. There's that viewer experience, but I think there will always be a frustration on the player. Because, for example, Dr. Disrespect is 37 times the Battle Royale player that Soda Poppin is. Soda Poppin was still able to knock Disrespect out of the tournament because of luck, right? And no one will deny that. But with RNG, I find it hard to wrap my mind around a game where $100,000 of the line, reputations of the line, and a lot of it, 30% of it's going to boil down to RNG luck. That, for me, if I was a professional esports player, I don't know if I could ever move past that, but I do think that watching it will be a really great.
Yeah. So to kind of wrap up here, we'll take a look at this poll one more time. I think this poll is pretty telling, even though it looks pretty spread evenly. If you just take the love them and the they're all right, that's 19-5 of people that like them and people that don't. And
that's pretty good.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
That's pretty consistent with how Twitch is looking.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, battle royales are. I guess we'll see how long they stay. Susie seems to be pretty passionate about him. We all know he loves them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love him, dude. So good.
Yeah, but
so good.
That is gonna be it for the SquadRoom Game Talk. We had a lot of good discussion today. Hope you guys enjoyed it.